If Tyler Robinson is proven guilty, he will face serious consequences as the state of Utah is seeking the death penalty. Let's watch this.
The murder of Charlie Kirk is an American tragedy. Charlie Kirk was murdered while engaging in one of our most sacred and cherished American rights, the bedrock of our democratic republic, the free exchange of ideas in a search for truth, understanding, and a more perfect union. It is also an offense against the state and to the peace and enjoyment of the people of Utah and of all those who visit here. But Charlie Kirk's murder also strikes a more personal and intimate chord. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a father to two beautiful young children. He was a son, he was a brother, and a friend. Like all murders, the senseless and needless taking of Charlie Kirk's life has shattered the lives of those he loved and those who loved him. To Charlie's wife, Erica, his two young children, his parents, his family, and his friends, I express my sincere condolences and offer my heartfelt prayers on your behalf. I also want to express my concern for everyone who was at Charlie's Turning Point USA event at the Utah Valley University, and all who have been impacted by this tragedy. As county attorney, I am charged with bringing justice to those who offend our laws. I am charged with bringing justice for those who are harmed. I am charged with bringing justice for Charlie Kirk. I am committed to these aims. I take this responsibility seriously. Today, after reviewing the evidence that law enforcement has collected thus far, I am filing a criminal information charging Tyler James Robinson, age 22, with the following crimes. Count 1, aggravated murder, a capital offense, for intentionally or knowingly causing the death of Charlie Kirk under circumstances that created a great risk of death to others. Count 2, felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury, a first-degree felony. The state is further alleging aggravating factors on counts 1 and 2 because the defendant is believed to have targeted Charlie Kirk based on Charlie Kirk's political expression and did so knowing that children were present and would witness the homicide. The state is also charging defendant with count 3, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for moving and concealing the rifle used in the shooting. Count 4, obstruction of justice, a second-degree felony for disposing the clothing he wore during the shooting. Count 5, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to delete his incriminating texts. Count 6, witness tampering, a third-degree felony for directing his roommate to stay silent if police questioned him. And count 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child, a Class A misdemeanor, for committing homicide knowing that children were present and may have seen or heard the murder and did so based on Charlie Kirk's political expression. Also, following the press conference, I am filing a notice of intent to seek the death penalty. I do not take this decision lightly, and it is a decision I have made independently as county attorney, based solely on the available evidence and circumstances and nature of the crime. Because we are seeking the death penalty, The defendant will continue to be held without bail in the Utah County Jail. Turning to the 10-page information, these are the allegations. On September 10th, 2025, at approximately 12:23 p.m., Charlie Kirk was shot and killed while speaking to a large crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Police found the suspected murder weapon, a bolt-action .30-06 rifle, nearby. Over the next approximately 33 hours, police conducted a manhunt for the shooter until the evening of September 11th, 2025, when Tyler James Robinson surrendered to police at the Washington County Sheriff's Office. DNA consistent with Robinson was found on the rifle's trigger. After shooting Mr. Kirk, Robinson hid the gun, discarded the clothing he wore when he fired the rifle, and told his roommate to delete incriminating text messages and not talk to police. Children were present at the time of the shooting. The shooting. Turning Point USA, a nonprofit organization founded in 2012 by Charlie Kirk, organized a public outdoor event to be held at noon on September 10th, 2025 at UVU. The event was the first in a series of similar events to be held at college campuses nationwide. Mr. Kirk is a well-known conservative activist famous for these type of events where he discusses various political issues and debates with audience members. His events and comments have garnered a significant number of supporters and drawn the ire of many who disagree with his political views. The event at UVU was announced far in advance and garnered significant publicity and interest. Consequently, several hundred people attended. Mr. Kirk was interacting with the crowd before the event officially got underway. Then, at approximately noon, Mr. Kirk seated himself under a portable canopy behind a table and microphone. He began speaking to the crowd and fielding questions from attendees, a format Mr. Kirk commonly used at his events. Mr. Kirk allowed his questioners to approach a microphone positioned directly in front of him. Mr. Kirk's team members were very close to him on his right and left, as well as some behind his canopy and others at various close locations near him. The large crowd surrounded Mr. Kirk on three sides. Temporary metal fencing separated attendees from Mr. Kirk by only a matter of feet. Directly above and behind Mr. Kirk was the UVU Hall of Flags, an indoor walkway spanning several hundred feet with floor-to-ceiling glass windows which overlooked the plaza where Mr. Kirk was seated. People were in the walkway at the time of the shooting. Approximately 15 minutes into the event, Mr. Kirk was answering a question about mass shootings by transgender individuals when a gunshot rang out. The bullet struck Mr. Kirk in the neck. He slumped to the ground almost immediately. The bullet's trajectory passed closely to several other individuals beside Mr. Kirk, including the questioner who was standing directly in front of Mr. Kirk. Children were visible near Mr. Kirk's stage when he was shot. Mr. Kirk was rushed to a nearby hospital where he was declared deceased. The medical examiner's report is still pending. So, UVU surveillance.
All right, let's learn something here. To impose the death penalty, courts generally require aggravated factors. All right, and some of these factors include the severity of the act. So the court will find or assess whether the act or the crime was really severe. The second point is risk created for others. Did the crime create any risk for other people, other innocent people? The court will also assess that. And the third point is premeditation. Premeditation. Was the criminal act planned? Was there kind of master plan behind the act? So the court will assess all of these. And let's look at another one, the presence of children or a public audience. The presence of children or a public audience. And the court will also look at the motive behind the act. The motive behind the act. Was it political motive? Was it religious motive? Any crime that is committed has kind of motive behind it. All right. So the court will evaluate or assess whether there was a political reason for the crime, or religious reason, or personal reason for the crime. And so the state must prove guilty beyond reasonable doubt in order to pursue the death penalty. So that is what the state of Utah is actually doing. And if you carefully listen to the presentation or the report the man gave, you would see that he was going towards the direction. He mentioned the presence of children. He mentioned people at the scene that is posing risk to them. He also mentioned the severity of the act. So this clearly shows that the state of Utah is actually seeking the death penalty for Tyler Robinson. I think I read the news today that says that the suspect, Tyler Robinson, appeared before the court today. All right. And he is being charged with aggravated murder. Right. But until he is proven guilty, nothing can be done to him. Yes, that is what we need to consider. Until he is proven guilty, nothing can be done to him. All right. So they have collected all facts and they are trying to prove that Tyler Robinson actually assassinated Charlie Kirk. Now, I want to say this before I leave. As Christians, we should not allow politics to influence our actions. Because of politics, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Because of politics, Tyler Robinson is in a big trouble. So I think if we have anything to do, we should rather do what the Lord requires. We should put all our energies, all our soul, all our mind. We should put all of that toward the preaching of the word of God, the preaching of the gospel, and living a better life. Yes, that is what I think. But, I am not a fan of death penalty. I am not a fan of death penalty. I don't know what you think about death penalty, but I want to ask this question. What do you feel about death penalty? Is death penalty biblical? Does the Bible support death penalty? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is all I had to share with you today concerning Tyler Robinson, concerning the state of Utah pursuing the death penalty. Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching again. See you next time, and may God bless.